I first met Clayton and them guys from years back. You know, we grew up in the same part of town in Brixton, South London, and ever since then it's just been cool. We've just Clayton's been doing his thing with Renegade, and he started off doing Trouble on Vinyl, and you know, I was supporting all the early shit and stuff like that. Renegade is one of the big dogs. You know, they're definitely one of the top 3 labels around, and Clayton's done some hard work. You know what I mean? And it's like not an overnight thing. He's been going for a long, long time. So you've got to give him praise and respect, because this year has been probably his biggest year. So, you know, peace to the brother, you know what I mean?
Clayton's been around for a long time. Obviously his Trouble on Vinyl thing been going for a long time. He decided to, I suppose, to move the sound a little bit, you know, a little hard edge to the hard edge sound, and voila, Renegade Hardware was born, I suppose.
Renegade Hardware has just always been there, man. It's just one of the cornerstone labels, you know, Trouble on Vinyl, Renegade Hardware. It's just one of those labels that, you know, all the new guys want to get onto that label. You know, all the up-and-coming producers, they want to get a little step up into the business, you know, and it's definitely a platform that has helped a lot of producers on the scene and a lot of DJs get, you know, quite popular and have got good acclaim.
I've known Clayton for years, man. He's one of the boys, isn't it? It's just not about connection, it's just about beyond that, mate. You know, I've known him for years, you know what I mean? And he always comes to Blue Night every week, week in, week out. And, you know, I've got respect for the boy, man. He's just come up hard, man. And looking after shit and doing real beats, you know what I mean? That's something that really matters, man. You know, hat off to Clayton, he's been really trying to, you know, keep it going in that sense. And he's, you know, he's a b-boy in that sense. So I think it's just a matter of time. By next summer, I think the scene will be regulated again in terms of what, you know, people getting back into the beats, man.
I remember the first big Renegade track that I ever bought was Killer Bees, and I was like, what the fuck is this? It was nuts, so that definitely pulled me in. And the first thing that got me about drum and bass was, you know, the bass. I'm from Miami. I grew up on Miami bass. When I first started going to drum and bass parties, I was like, you know, that's what got me and shit. So it was the bass and the way that I could fuck with it while I'm mixing, because it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like I had to wait for somebody's verse to be over, you know what I'm saying? I could fuck with the sounds, I could fuck with the, you know, with the way of mixing it, because to me it was always hip hop. Like, it wasn't like, I wasn't like bouncing to it, like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really into it like that. When I was hearing it, I was like, I was like, yeah, this is shit.
Renegade specialising in more beats. It's more for more people who are there to hear beats, rather than like, a lot of people go there to hear like a set thing, maybe like the MC, or to hear like a certain amount of tunes. But if you go to Renegade, you're going to hear a certain type of tune, like fresh tunes you ain't even going to hear before. They're Renegade beats, and that's why it's a different clientele. That, for me, go to Renegade nights, they want to go there, they want to hear hard beats, they want to hear like more b-boyism.
Label's been going for a long time. Clayton's a very, very talented A&R man. He knows how to get what he wants. He's running an amazing operation. It's quite something.
There's a few tracks of theirs what's absolutely smashed it. I mean, I've played them all around the world, Australia, Japan, everywhere, and it smashes it, you know. There's not one I can just put my finger on, but there's been a few really, really big tunes, but just, you know, I mean, you go somewhere like Australia and you play it and you get a response because they've heard of it, or, you know, it's amazing, you know, other side of the world, and this stuff just reaches across here.
Clayton and Mark have like been working hard for like years before, like, do you know what I mean? People like myself and that came through. Like Nico introduced me to Mark and Clayton years ago, and like, I just know Clayton and Mark have always worked hard, you know what I mean? And Clayton used to be down, you remember Eddie used to be down Music House and all that all the time.
And we've got first memories about Renegade Hardware because it just seems like they've always been here, do you know what I mean? They're always consistent, they've got a nice sound, doing their own thing. You know, that's why I always back Clayton and what them boys are doing, you know what I mean? I never go out to play a set without having at least a couple Renegade bits in my box. Do you know what I mean? It's an important part of my set still.
I've known the guys from years, man, like Clayton and that started, Clayton and Mark started TOV back in the mid-90s, and since then, since the Just Jungle tune, which was like the first kind of release that people picked up on, been getting the tunes regularly, and they're always mean quality, you know? Uncompromising sounds, always coming with a fresh beats, always pushing. The good thing is, Renegade Hardware always pushing new artists, you know, bringing new people through and trying out new ideas, and I think that's always healthy. Always good, man. Always got the, you know, they had a unique crowd, and
always packed out. Especially when they do the Coronet, and they did it with Valve, and the sound system was just huge. I think I played like 5 till 6, and the vibes in the place was like it was midnight. It was like everyone just got in there, everyone was fresh, and that's a good sign of a good party. Because when people are still going towards the end of the night, you know it's been a good one.
Yeah, Renegade Hardware, man. You know, they're always putting out the top-notch stuff. You know, always got releases coming through that, you know, killing it on the scene. Always got big tunes. Concord Dawn, Raiden, Pendulous. Too many guys to mention, man. On Renegade Hardware, big Clayton running it, man. You know.
Renegade Hardware is a fantastic label. I often play their tunes. I admire the way they're very hard, and the quality of the output, and it's very consistent.
Consistently high quality stuff.
In fact, some of the first records I ever bought were Renegade Hardware. I remember Genotype and stuff like that.
At the end of the day, it brings back the atmosphere from back in the day, and the music he basically plays is just for like the whole audience. It differs probably from like more junglist style to more intelligent style, and at the end of the day, caters for everybody. Brings a good crowd, positive vibes, no attitude, and he also puts other music on in the club like R&B, so people get a good variation of all the music as well. So he caters for everyone, and he also pulls crowds in from all over the UK. So it's nice to get everyone together for good, positive attitudes.